Yes. So many allegations. First, would you explain to me?
You know, first of
your
all,
system.
you know,
First of all,
you know,
I want to know about the system.
I didn't know that I'm this very strong person where I have a system.
You're part of the system.
What I know is that I don't have a system.
Yes.
But I want to take Ichung'wah. You know, Ichung'wah, you've introduced two issues. One is politics, which I understand that you are driving that. And then, of course, the other one is the issue of the security of the deputy president. But I want to perhaps remind you that the principle behind Jubilee, the Ruto, if you go back and ask yourself why we coined the Ruto, then you will know who has the numbers. And I don't want you to interfere. I want to take you through.
You are not even in the system.
Let me take you through. Because that was in 2011, 2012. If you want to know who has the numbers in this country, and I want to tell you today, and I want to be on record, the philosophy behind Ruto was that if you have Ruto running against Raila alone, he will not beat Raila. If you have Uhuru running against Raila alone, he will not beat Raila. So the person who had the numbers at that time, over 8 million, and it has been constant, it is Raila. So the moment, if you want to measure the numbers, you will only measure Uhuru Ruto numbers when they are together. But when they are separated, then I will tell you, you must be prepared for a shocker. No, I was only trying to answer you, because you seems to be green in this thing. Because you know, we were there from 2007 up to 2013 when we even decided that this is the way to go. Now, I've answered you that one. When you talk about the numbers that you have, remember that Jubilee was a pair. For the numbers that Ruto can boast about, it must be also in Uhuru's numbers. So you must be very careful. And if you want to talk about politics of winning, you must consider Uhuru's support. If you think that you will regard Uhuru's support for you to win, then I must tell you, I can give you a free...
We need everybody's support, including yours.
Agreed. But then the language that you've introduced, my brother, I will tell you again for free, that the narrative that you are driving is a narrative that is very risky. You might think that you are attracting sympathy, but you might be chasing many people, because you are using more threats. By the deputy president to come out and say there are people in government. He is government. And I remember in 2000, and you know, you've just given us an incident that happened in 2017 in his house. No.
He said
let me just
system.
Yes. Let me answer you.
He didn't say government.
Take your time.
But how can the government exist without the system?
In 2017,
outside the system.
Just give me time.
The system
in 2017, when this issue happened in DP's house, I'm sure he was the darling of the president. He was the darling of the system. How did it happen then? That is the question that you must keep on asking
at yourself. That time, because he was on the right side.
Yes, so for someone to refer to that, and I will tell you in confidence that even the Lamada meeting, there was no discussion of assassination. It is the leadership of Mount Kenya, both in executive and politician, who had come together because of the issues that...
Were you at Lamada?
I was briefed to what was going on, and I was okay. So when they realized that there was a team that had been put together by the president to address issues of common concern, these are development matters in Central Province, he realized that the rug has been pulled under him. Then they said, how do we stop these meetings? Introduce assassination, and they used a fake letter.
Did it work?
It did work. I would say it's politics. Even what they are doing now, no, it is whipping emotion. Remember,
yes.
And I will talk, let me tell you, my brother, I come from the region, and people have been asking questions. This is a young man from the region. What happened to him? People are not getting answers. So, in listening to the deputy president, he was speaking to the masses back at home, telling them, I am a victim of a situation. My office should not be victimized on this, or no one should accuse my office. Okay. Now, come to the issue of the system. There is no one who has exercised power than the deputy president, all the way from 2013 when they were elected up to even today. The person who has the aura of the power of governance, of government and presidency, it is the deputy president. For him to stand today and point accusing finger to some junior officers, now allow me, my brother, for him today to wake up one day and then accuse some junior officers, it is laughable. I expect the deputy president to stand firm and say, I'm the deputy. And he has repeated. So here you are complaining, and at the same time, you are telling us that the same system, that you are the second in command. So which one do we take?
Okay.
So finally,
yes,
as I conclude,
yes,
I will only urge my friends that if it means politics, they should play fair
politics. But no one plays fair in politics. I'm coming to you. Joy, remember, this is not the first time that the team from the deputy president is accusing the DCI. You remember during the Kimorer investigations, the same Kimani Ichung'wah said that the object of the investigations should be left to the EACC. The DCI should be investigating small crimes like pickpocketing and all. So even them, as he speaks about the concerted efforts to undermine the deputy president, you remember even that team has been undermining the DCI from get-go. Right from Kimorera and Arroy. He spoke out, and we have the soundbite.
You know, this the exasperation that I have with the DCI is same as with what we are seeing with the Kenei murder, is also with what we saw with Aurora and Kimorera. I remember when that
20
story.
billion.
I remember when the story broke, and the people were arraigned in court. The first thing I said is like the case is like it was set up to fail. How do you take to court so many accused persons, and then you drop a charge sheet with so many charges on the charge sheet, and you want one magistrate to keep track of all the accused persons, all the charges, and there's all these defense attorneys. I mean, reading plea alone, taking plea alone took a whole day. And I said, what strategy is this we're employing when you're trying to solve something complex?
So you think it was engineered to fail from the beginning?
And that's what I'm trying to say even with this Kenei thing.
Okay.
Sometimes when you let politics color serious things like this, we don't get to the bottom of what we're supposed to get to the bottom of. And I have a problem with how the DCI is working. Not because they don't have a mandate to tell us the progress of the case. It's because when you prosecute something in the court of public opinion all the time, sometimes you forget where it matters. It matters in the courts, the law courts. That's where you need to take your proof.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, when now like what happened in this case, you've got all these accused person. One of them goes to the High Court and says, you know what, the manner of my arrest was irregular. The High Court issues a stay, and now all of them, nobody is proceeding. Can we say, therefore, that there's going to be any justice until the matter in the High Court is heard? This other matter is not proceeding.
Yes.
In the meantime, is evidence flying out the window? Is a major cover-up going on? Same thing with this Kenei thing.
You think that's
there are three people, there are two people. We're talking tonight. When you prosecute things in the media, and I've said it before, unless you're trying to throw a stone in the bush, because it's a tactic. You throw a stone in the bush, you see what animals run out.
Yes.
Unless it's a tactic, I do not understand why the DCI is more concerned about rushing to media to do things rather than being meticulous. Because as a criminal law practitioner, one of the things that I want to see, whenever there is a crime, we call ingredients. In fact, it's like a recipe. You have ingredients to every crime. Has he marked everything? Has he crossed all his T's, dotted all his I's? Because, you know, like, for example, in the States, by the time we are calling you and telling you, we are charging you, we show you what we have against you. You say, you know what, boss, it's okay. Let us talk a plea. But in Kenya, people just know, you know, we'll hang in there tight. 2 years, we are acquitted for lack of evidence, or the courts decide, you know what, it's taken too long. And at the end of the day, is justice served? And like I said earlier, some of these guys who are accessing public office, we want those convictions to stick so that they're not able to run for office. Okay. Then are we going to be more strategic in how we charge people in corruption cases so that we deliver convictions? But over and above that, there's a point I don't want to lose, and I've put it down over here. There's something we do with our waheshimiwa, and no offense to present company. We elevate them to almost demigod status. It's like they can do no wrong. It's like they cannot be... You see, the way we even call them mheshimiwa, I mean, the moment you have pitted, hata ukianguka, you're mheshimiwa for life. But what that does, it makes us skip. I was telling someone, for example, what we saw with the CCTV. The reason why HSA can come and instead of his car being such, people salute him is because even though he's a sacked minister, they recognize him still as a former mheshimiwa. So with you, the rules don't apply.